Hey guys, I know I haven't been around for so long. I've been going through a lot. I had so many things to take care of, and hopefully I'm trying to stick around. So hopefully I'll be around for too long. I'm going to try to record more videos. So for today's video, I noticed that a lot of people are more interested nowadays in coming to China, more curious about China, and they're asking me a lot of questions when they want to apply for jobs. And so I decided to talk about things I like about China. There are things I even love about China. So here are 10 things that I like about China. Number 1. I don't know why I'm gonna start with this one, but no tipping. I like this about China. I don't know where you come from, if you have it or not, but I've been to places where you have to pay the tip, and sometimes it's like 10 or like sometimes even 15% of what you get, and it doesn't matter if the service is good or not, or the person was nice or not. But here in China, people don't accept it everywhere, like restaurants or wherever you go, they don't accept the tip. They said it's like they already have their salary, and like they're not allowed to take anything. In really few places, like if you give them something, they will be really, really happy to, but most like restaurants or whatever you go, they are not allowed to take any tip. Number 2. I love how cheap is China. I love it so much. Probably if you're coming from a Western country where things are expensive, you will think that China is like super cheap. But then if you're coming from like a third world country where things are already cheap, we come here and you'll be like, oh, it's okay. It's not like much of a difference or something. But then you have to compare with the salary that you get here, all the advantages. It's like you don't pay rent if you get to come here. Then like some schools offer like food and stuff, so you get to save a lot. Especially so here I'm not talking about like mega cities like Shanghai or Beijing, but other cities other than these two, it's pretty cheap. Number three is that China is the best place to be in within Asia if you want to travel within Asia. Like nowadays there are a lot of people who are interested in Southeast Asian like countries, all these fun places. So if you are here, you want to travel, you want to discover. So being in China and working in China, it's the best place and the best thing to do, because also flights from China are pretty cheap. Then if you want to fly from all the way back home to these countries, it's gonna cost you a lot. But I love that we have a lot of holidays and it's cheaper to travel to those fun countries from here in China. Number 4. This is very important. Everyone is asking me about this, and it's normal to ask about this before coming here. Is China safe? I was wondering the same before coming here. I was asking, many people back home were telling me that China was not safe and you have to be careful and everything. But once I got here, China is the safest place I have been to so far. Like, I feel so safe, and I'm not the only one who thinks this. Like all my foreign friends, like foreigners who are here, they think the same. I had flights before when I had to wake up very early in the morning and then catch a bus or a car that takes me to the airport like 3 a.m. And at first, like first times I was kind of like nervous about that, but then like it was like super safe. And like all I see is like old people walking the dogs, or like young people going biking and stuff like that. Like, I've been to countries where you cannot even hold your phone. Here Chinese people are always with their phones, like a new iPhone going around. Like back in some other countries, like you have to hide stuff, like you have to be hiding all the time. I'm not telling you that you won't get like there are pickpockets, of course, but like you have to be also careful. But like in general, it's pretty safe. Number 5, public transportation. I'm not the only one who loves that. Many people here, many foreigners think that it's so convenient to go around, move around China, get to places. They have so many options. Like first of all, you have like taxis like everywhere. They are pretty cheap. I'm not talking about Shanghai or Beijing, but other places in China, they're pretty cheap. You just wave, You don't know how to tell them? It's fine. Just show them a picture of where you are, you're going, an address, or just call your Chinese friend, give them a phone, they will tell them where you're going. And other than that, there are, for example, sometimes within rush hours, you cannot get taxis. There are also apps where you can call a taxi. Sometimes you cannot get in touch with a taxi because of the rush hour and so many people. It's okay. There is another app, DD. It's like Uber. You call them, they come pick you up, and they take you whatever. You just have to choose your address. And yeah, they're pretty nice people. They're pretty clean, and they have like level whatever you want. It's like luxury or just a normal express one. Anyway, the other option is buses. Some people prefer buses, some people don't, but buses here are pretty convenient because you have them like every 5 minutes. It's not like the buses that you wait for like half an hour or something. It's like every 5 minutes. There is sometimes even less. If it's rush hour, there are even less than that. You don't like buses. There are another option like that we had these the last few years, and it's a blast. Shared bikes. We had so many companies at the beginning. Now we don't have as much as before, but then we still have like a lot of bikes everywhere. It's so convenient. Like you just go out, like, you don't feel like walking, you can't get a taxi, you can't get a DD, you want to exercise, you just scan, open that bike, go whatever you want, just leave it in a public space and lock it and then go. Number 6, or in a Chinese way, 6. Banking system and payments. I don't know where you come from, but where I come from, we pay so much for banks. Like when you open an account, like there are so many fees that you pay, like fees everywhere. Like you just keep paying and paying and paying. Then I came to China. First time, like I opened my bank account, I was very surprised, and it was so easy to open a bank account, and then I just dropped my money. I was like, is there any fee I had to pay? They were like, nothing. I was very surprised and happy, of course. Also, I really like how even in Saturday, like if you are working the whole week and you need to get things done, there's still Saturday where like they still work. Even Sunday, there are people in the bank still. Then there is payment. In the whole world right now, people are going cashless, right? It's more advanced in here. It's not only in the mall. There are codes, like QR codes everywhere. You just scan, you pay, and you get things done. In some countries, you can still need to have some cash in case you buy something from a street vendor where people don't have the machines, right? Here, even street vendors, they have those codes where you can just scan and pay them. The most useful apps that we use here is Alipay and WeChat for paying. You don't need card anymore, you don't need cash, all you need is that phone. So it better be charged and don't lose it. That's it for today's video. Part 2 will be uploaded next week. Stay tuned. There will be more information for you who are coming to China or are planning to come to China one day. Also, take some guests down below for what are the things I'm going to be talking about next week. What are the things that I like. So see you next week. Bye.